So, if you've been around on the internet for some time, then you know that most Zoomers, shall we say, like the generation below me, have been on the internet for quite, pretty much all their lives. Not as long as we have been around, but more, shall we say, on the internet for a lot, shall we say, younger age than we were. He says, still only in his 30s. Um, so we have really come to see, especially over the past couple of years, a generation of young people, and particularly young men, because this is who fall for a lot of this stuff, really, really go and get hooked on some far right nonsense and rabbit holery. And recently, just very recently, a guy called Matt Goodwin. Now he is a big author. I think he writes for the Times. Well, he's an author. He writes for the Times a lot. Very, very prominent, shall we say, figure, especially in think tanks. Writes for the Gartham Institute quite regularly as well. So, he's been around, but he is certainly not familiar, I think, with the internet culture that this Zoomer that he interviews on his Substack writes. Now, unfortunately, I can't show you a Substack, but I did take some quotes from it because honestly, if you've been around on the internet, you would recognize a lot of what this guy is saying. And it's not too disfamiliar from what you would see from someone who might be a Sargon of Akkad fan, a Count Dankula fan. A lot of these people who have been really hammering home that, oh, the problem isn't the right wing, it's these people on the left who are they're the real problem. But again, go watch maybe Laserpig's video. Just that has some very, very good analysis about that particular subject. But I really want to show you how bad this guy has fallen for it. And what worryingly, the consequences would this be, where we talked in the membership video. By the way, links down below if you want to go join the Pony Club or the Patreon to go see that video. We talked about one of the possibilities of the Tory civil war of them accepting Nigel Farage. And if you accept Nigel Farage, then behind him will come a lot of these people. And if you think you've seen the Tory party shift right, it could shift even more right under allowing these types of people into the party. But as I've said before, they are going to probably spend the next decade, if not more, flirting with these types of people. And it is going to hurt them astronomically. And as I've said before, while that all is all going on, we have a massive opportunity to go and do some really progressive things. But before we do get into this, please do remember to go click on the like and the share button. Down below, there's the links to the Patreon page, the Buy Me Coffee link where you can buy me coffee, the YouTube thank you button, and of course the Pony Club as well. And if you do want to see any of the membership videos, like I say, join the Pony Club again down below, or the Patreon as well. You can see all of them here. We are rapidly approaching 100, and I'm going to do something special, but I still don't know what I want to do. But as always, thank you very much to all those people who do help and support the channel. Even if you do, just click on the like and share. So, what happened with this? Well, Matt Goodwin a couple of weeks ago had on his anonymous Zoomer that got a really, really sort of viral following. But he's back. And if you are, you can, I think, go to his Substack. You can see it as like a guest visitor. But the one you're looking for is called Why I Would Want to, quote, conserve any of this, says Anonymous Zoomer. So here's some of the very sussy things he says. Because you can tell instantly that this guy is watching some of these people on the far right, because they do like to use, or should we say, they like to philosophize a lot. And he talks about it in a very philosophical, I can't even say it, philosophical way. Is, should we say, attacks on this. And one of the things is, he said, so one of this, he says this: what exactly is the reward for defending the established order of a nation state that aggressively attacks your living standards in service of its own objectives, whether it is through the utter obsession with racial inclusion. So, first of all, alarm bell, alarm bell, and identity politics in the job market, or the imposition of net zero. And then this should also certainly be raising a lot of flags, a more aggressive foreign policy. Well, what do you mean by aggressive foreign policy? We're hardly invading anyone. We're currently supporting a country who's being invaded. Once again, if hearing that has not set alarm bells off, then you really need to go watch a video called Folding Ideas. And it's a guy where he sort of dissects the far right and talks about their talking points, about how they indoctrinate people through use of seemingly normal, innocuous language, but every so often slip stuff in like that. Like, oh, they were talking about, oh, all this, aggressive foreign policy, all this, racial inclusion. Wait, what? Trust me, this is how you spot these people from a mile away. And if you are not, if you are not paying attention, sometimes you'll miss it. And this is done so deliberately because they know that they cannot be out and out. They've got to be, constantly ducking and weaving, giving a sense that, am I really? Am I not? Or am I just joking? Oh, that was just a joke if they do get called out on it. But there is another one that also made me a bit sus about this. So why am I also faced with a system that has now condemned me to a lifetime of financial penury, which stole 2 years of my life to protect the NHS? Really? You were in lockdown and it stole 2 years of your life. Protecting the NHS was the goal so that it was not overburdened, so that then more people, didn't die. But, just stealing 2 years of his life then made it indefinitely harder, not easier for me to get onto the housing ladder. Again, you can thank Liz Truss for that, but he doesn't expressly say that. And then often appears to despise its own people, especially the young working class men. And I am now naturally inclined to radical political change, not the preservation of an agrid status quo. Yeah, this guy's been listening to a lot of far right podcasts, and you can tell because of this. You like, if your alarm bells weren't ringing, this one certainly will do. Where he goes, voting for the Tory party which still blindly asserts that Britain is a successful multi-ethnic, multi-faith democracy, one in which grooming gangs are given a free pass as to not undermine the social cohesion. Yeah, I think we know how far this guy has gone, where he is going on about grooming gangs. That, oh, really? They're just given a free pass. We covered this back in the day, just after the whole Rotherham thing, where that sort of blew up. There was a grooming gang caught full of white men down south, almost like a couple of weeks later. People like this guy and people on this far right podcast he's probably listening to never said a word about that. Said nothing about it. They also happen to exclude the fact that part of that Rotherham grooming gang that they often bang on about, two of the people who were involved in that and arrested as part of that were two white women who were ultimately vastly much responsible for luring a lot of those young girls into those, grooming gangs. Do they talk about that? No. Because again, they've got an agenda. a very specific agenda. Like I say, by now, your alarm bells should be ringing very, very clearly on this. And it is sort of shocking that he is allowed this to take root. But the only reason he did it was because it became a bit viral. And I don't know if we'll ever find out who this anonymous Zoomer is, but yeah, he's literally box ticking all of the this guy's probably quite a bit, you know, uh, would have been incredibly active in a particular youth organization in the 1930s. um, but yes. So let me know what you think down below. But yeah, this is something I think is predicting. I think you'll see if you allow Nigel Farage in, people like this are going to infect the Tory party even more. But again, that's going to be a good thing for us because they are going to spend decades, if not more, completely out of power while they flirt with people like this, not realizing who they're really flirting with. Um, It'll be like going on a permanent blind date with someone. Then, when you finally go to the altar, realizing, the person you were marrying has a bit of a toothbrush mustache. But, hopefully I've made it very clear about about what I think of this guy. Uh, but yeah, this is a bit suspicious, even for Matt Goodwin, I think, to allow this on his Substack, where this guy is very clearly giving away some very big dog whistles about this. And those were just some of the parts that I got from that. The full article is full of dog whistling, of far right stuff. And they can't even see it. Someone like Matt Goodwin, I'm shocked, can't even see it. But hey, there you go. It just goes to show you the big problems that are going to probably happen in the Tory party after all this stuff. But hey, we'll be covering all that fun that happens because, like I say, the Tory wars are about to break open, and oh boy, is it going to be fun! We're going to eat well off the infighting that comes from all this. So, as always, thank you very much for watching, and of course, as always, we'll see you all next time.